nationalist movement in Indo-China. Vietnam gained formal independence in 1945 before India, but it took another 3 decades of fighting before the Republic of Vietnam was formed. This chapter on Indo-China will introduce you to one of the important states of the peninsula, namely Vietnam. Nationalism in Indo-China developed in a colonial context. The knitting together of a modern Vietnamese nation that brought the different communities together was in part the result of colonization. But as importantly, it was shaped by the struggle against colonial domination. If you see the historical experience of Indo-China in relation to that of India, you will discover important differences in the way colonial empires functioned and the anti-imperial movement developed. By looking at such differences and similarities, you can understand the variety of ways in which nationalism has developed and shaped the contemporary world. Emerging from the shadow of China. Indo-China comprises the modern countries of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Its early history shows many different groups of people living in this area under the shadow of the powerful empire of China. Even when an independent country was established in what is now northern and central Vietnam, its rulers continued to maintain the Chinese system of government as well as the Chinese culture. Vietnam was also linked to what has been called the Maritime Silk Route that brought in goods, people, and ideas. Other networks of trade connected it to the hinterlands where non-Vietnamese people such as the Khmer Cambodians lived. The colonization of Vietnam by the French brought the people of the country into conflict with the colonizers in all the areas of life. The most visible form of French control was military and economic domination, but the French also built a system that tried to reshape the culture of the Vietnamese. Nationalism in Vietnam emerged through efforts of different sections of society to fight against the French and all they represented. French troops landed in Vietnam in 1858, and by the mid-1880s, they had established a firm grip over the northern region. After the Franco-Chinese War, the French assumed control of Tonkin and Annam, and in 1887, French Indo-China was formed. In the following decades, the French sought to consolidate their position, and the people in Vietnam began reflecting on the nature of the loss that Vietnam was suffering. Nationalist resistance developed out of this reflection. The famous blind poet Nguyen Dinh Chu, 1822 to 1888, bemoaned what was happening to his country. I would rather face eternal darkness than see the face of traitors. I would rather see no man than encounter one man's suffering. I would rather see nothing than witness the dismembering of the country in decline.